Hi, I'm Joseph Pannell from Dusky Deer Bell Tents. Today I'm going to be showing you how to set up one of our tents. The one we have here is a 5 metre bell tent, but the principle is exactly the same for the 4 metre, and all our bell tents have zipped in ground sheets as well, so we're going to be showing you how to zip those in. Okay, so here we go. You need to pull the ground sheet out completely flat, and then you want to be laying the canvas on top of the ground sheet. When your bell tent arrives, you'll have the ground sheet already zipped into the canvas, but I might as well just show you how to zip it in as well. At the back of the bell tent, there'll be 2 zips, so you want to zip each one in turn and just follow it all the way around. Zipped all the way around from the back, you then want to do the door zips at the bottom as well. Because this particular bell tent has mosquito netting, you want to make sure that you zip the outside zip. So you want to be zipping the outside zip on the ground sheet to the outside canvas zip on the bell tent. Once you've zipped the canvas onto the ground sheet, you then want to peg the ground sheet out flat. For pegging the ground sheet, you use these pegs, and these are for the guy lines and for the elastic loops as well. So the ground sheet, you want to be putting the peg through this hole, and you want to be pulling the ground sheet out flat. So you go round and you peg the ground sheet, and then you go round to the next one, which will be underneath the elastic loop, and you pull it tight to get it as tight as you can, and then peg the ground sheet tight. Gone round and pegged all the ground sheet, then you want to do the last peg, but it's important to also remember to do the one just under the door as well. So once you've done the door one, you should have a nice tight ground sheet that's well pegged all the way around. Just to get a little bit more slack in the bell tent, you might want to take a bit of zip off the bottom zip as well, just to give you a bit more room when you're lifting the canvas. Take a bit off there, and then you take the pole into the bell tent. And then raise the bell tent. So you want to be getting the pole to the cone here, and then lifting the whole thing up, so you're lifting it up like that. The A-frame into the bell tent. You don't want to fully assemble it on the outside, because it's going to make it tricky to get inside. So just partially assemble it and then finish off assembling inside. Okay. Come inside the bell tent. You want to make sure these legs fit firmly in these canvas loops. So just put that there, put it in the loop, and then tie it off here. Just using a shoelace knot. Before you do the guy lines, you want to be zipping up the tent first. So zip the door, then zip the ground sheet. The guy line you want to do is the one on the door, and you should follow the angle of the bell tent down. So as you see the roof here, you've got the angle coming down, and this guy line should follow all the way down, and then you use these pegs here, just peg the guy line and do it straight in the door, so you're going straight up and then peg it. Make sure the guy line's quite loose to begin with, because you want to be tightening them up later. So just do it quite loosely to start with, and then you do the front two guy lines and then the back two. Do the front. It's important that you see they're quite a short guy length. You've got about, I'd say about 2/3 of a metre loop on the end, and that's because you want to have the belt end skirt at the same angle as the belt end. You see, as it comes down, the skirt carries on that angle down. Now, if you were to have the guy line too long, you'd have a very shallow skirt coming out like that, and so you'd have a skirt which will go up where water can pull. You want to make sure the angle is the same as the belt end going down. You've done all the guy lines around the whole of the belt end. That's when you want to tighten them up on this plastic slider here. So just get them really tight, and you want to do opposite sides. So with all our belt ends, we supply an extra set of heavy duty pegs. Often I see at campsites people will hook canvas loops underneath the ground sheet, like so. There's two problems with doing that. The first is you're going to make it more likely that this peg will come out of the ground on a windy day. You're going to have that peg pulling out, and what you're doing when you're doing that is you're forcing this canvas flap over the zip. So if either people peg them like that, or they just have them loose, hanging down. It's much better to use the third set of pegs we supply, pull the walls out and peg them separately. That way you've got a much stronger belt end, any wind, and then any rain comes down, comes off there, any rain on the wall comes down the belt end and just comes off like that. So there's nothing going onto the zip. So peg the ground sheets, peg the canvas separately. We have a canvas flap on the belt end. This is so any electrical cables can come in easily. If you're not using it, or once you put your electric cable in, you want to push this flap inside, and then you want to do it up like so, and then push the flap inside and then peg over the top. That way that flap is completely covered and it's inside as well, so there's no water getting in there. Put that on top of the A-frame, stops any water coming in, and then the belt end is complete.